Hi, I'm Renee, and welcome to another one of my blogs. Have you ever walked into a supermarket and really check out the shelves, like what's on the shelves, from the point of view of the little person? I'm talking about what do your children see when they go to the supermarket with you? Have you looked at the shelves, the lower shelves? Look at the cereals they put near the very bottom. Check it out one day. Yes, that's right. The manufacturers are marketing to your 3-year-old. Isn't it crazy? They want it to be colorful and playful looking. All the treats, all the sugary cereals that your children will love. All that sugar. And the fact that obesity and heart disease and diabetes is on the rise in our children should make that concerning to us. And we normally talk about diabetes in children, mainly type 1, but unfortunately type 2 diabetes is also on the rise in children. Type 2 diabetes was considered the diabetes of adults. How do I know this? Up to last week, there was a 13-year-old who came into the office who had type 2 diabetes. It's crazy. It's on the rise, and we're not talking about it as much as we should. Obesity is on the rise. The numbers are not lying. Research shows that children eat 3 times more sugar than they should be eating. And they're not playing as much outside anyway. You would think that you could depend on the government to, help to curtail the amount of sugar that's put in foods. But since I read so much, I realize that this is not the case. I recently saw a couple weeks ago that the UK decided to come up with guidelines to recommend to other to manufacturers about how much sugar, how much fat to put into foods. And this was their way of trying to combat childhood obesity. Their way to combat childhood obesity and diabetes in children was to recommend to the food companies to cut back on the sugar. A recommendation. I had to laugh. Shouldn't it be like a mandate, a requirement? And you would think you could depend on research, on scientists to actually put the truth out there and make it available to the public. But then you read in an article, like I was reading a journal article from the Journal of Medicine, and it was very eloquently explained in the New York Times, where it talks about how the sugar company, the sugar industry, years ago manipulated studies to try to take the blame off sugar as a link to coronary heart disease, and instead shift the blame completely to fats. We can't depend on anybody. And that's why I started these blogs, so that we can start reading and educating ourselves, because we can't depend on anybody. Not the government, not scientists, not researchers, not people who print these things, not manufacturers. We can't depend on them. It's important for us to educate ourselves. The fact that our children are being affected as much as they are means that we need to do more to combat childhood obesity and diabetes from a personal standpoint. Till next time.